So remember when Konami banned Branded Explosion in Master Duel because everyone was puppet locking everyone, and then we didn't have to deal with that? Well, that was a good few months, but now Branded Explosion, the fusion monster, is in Master Duel, and we are definitely gonna have to deal with the puppet lock again. So, thanks. Now I have a few other combo videos on Branded Despia that they still apply to the current Branded Despia builds. It's just that here I'll be showing you how to puppet lock using the new cards from the new set. But again, if you want a refresher on combos, those videos are still mostly up to date, minus the couple combos where I searched Branded Explosion. Obviously, you would search a different branded spell trap instead of Explosion in that case, but it still applies. But for now, how to puppet lock. So there's a few ways you can do so. One of them is just the classic Aluber or Branded Fusion plus Cartesia. So this hand is Cartesia plus Aluber. You have Fusion deployment first, summon out Cartesia. And then we'll Foolish Burial, dump the Tragedy, which will get us our Aluber. And then we'll normal summon the Aluber, and then the Aluber gets Branded Fusion. The one-of, and here's what you do. So, Branded Fusion, this is the start of this is the same. It should look familiar if you've played Brand before. It starts similar to the previous, just standard Aluber plus Cartesia combo, where you will go for Albion, dump, Bestial Lubellion, and Fallen of Albaz. Summon out the Albion. Then you will use Albion's effects, banishing or making Lubellion by banishing Fallen of Albaz plus Aluber. And then you will use Lubellion's effects, pitch a card, and make the Mirror Jade on top. Or just make the Mirror Jade wherever you want it, using Fallen Albaz and the Lubellion. So once Mirror Jade is made, summon back your Bestial Lubellion by sacking the Albion. And then use Bestial Lubellion to place Branded Lost on your field. And here you'll use Blazing Cartesia's effect to fusion summon the Grand Guignol with Lubellion and itself. And you'll use Grand Guignol, Chainlink 1, and Lost Chainlink 2. Here, you have to use Branded Lost to search for Albion the Shrouded Dragon. And then Grand Guignol will dump the card everyone knows and loves, Gimmick Puppy Nightmare. So the reason you have to add Albion the Shrouded Dragon is because right now you currently do not have a Fallen of Albaz engraved for your branded in red target. So you need to use Albion to dump a Fallen of Albaz from your deck to your grave to get a target for branded red. And you get a free card out of it too. Now proceed to end phase and use Albion to set branded in red. And here, I like to keep the Cartesia engraved. You can add it back to hand, obviously, but when you summon Sanctifier will summon to both sides of the field, and Cartesia is actually like the best target to summon back to your side of the field, since you can use its effect on your opponent's turn and get additional value that way. So I like to not add it back and just keep it engraved. And now you pass on to draw phase, and here you will use Branded in red, targeting the Fallen of Albaz you just dumped. Now we do have a Tragedy engraved, but as a target, but we can't use Tragedy because obviously we need Albaz as a target for Sanctifier, and you're gonna make Sanctifier using the Grand Guignol, which is the Dust Dragon is a spellcaster, light spellcaster, just absolutely the perfect material for Sanctifier. Who would have thunk? And then Fallen of Albaz. And going to Sanctifier. And now you're going to use Sanctifier's effect with Branded Lost. So Branded Lost and Sanctifier. You're going to target Gimmick Public Nightmare and target Cartesia. And Gimmick Public Nightmare summon to your opponent's side of the field. And Cartesia summon to your side of the field. And now your opponent's Gimmick Public locked, and you can search a Mercurier as another monster negate too. And there you have it. That's the most basic combo to get the lock. Some combination of Cartesia and Aluber. And now your opponent can't special summon for the rest of the turn. You have a live Mirror Jade, you have an Albion, and you have a Blazing Cartesia. And if you have, and you also have a Mercurier in hand as a negate, but you can also fuse the Mercurier, and you have follow up with the Mirror Jade, and yeah, your opponent, if they're playing a real deck, they really cannot do anything, and they also cannot evenly match you or Lightning Storm you, because, you know, it's just very necessary that if Albion puts a monster on your opponent's side of the field, that also blocks them from using some of the best board breakers in the game. So that's Gimmick Lock, Gimmick Puppet Lock, combo 1. Now another way to do the lock is if you open an access to Quem and then access to Aluber or Branded Fusion with another dark monster, you know, such as the Fallen Balbaz here. And you can access both Quem and Aluber by brand opening, so you can open either Quem or Aluber plus a brand opening, and that's also a line to the puppet lock. So to start with your Quem, you can use Quem to dump your Cartesia. Then use a brand opening and pitch a card and special summon your Aluber. It could also be the other way around. If you normal summon Aluber, special Quem, that also works. Then Aluber will add your brand fusion. You have the call right for their Ash, so get out of here, Bozo. Branded Fusion for Albion again. Dump Lubellion and dump Albaz. And then on summon, you're gonna use Albion as Chainlink 1, and then Quem as Chainlink 2. And Quem is going to revive the Cartesia. So Cartesia summons itself. Since your monster left the extra deck while Quem was on the field, that means you can revive any monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz with it in the grave. This also includes fusions if you have them set up already. So Cartesia is going to summon itself. And then Albion, you can do the same line as you did before. You can make the Lubellion and then make a Mirror Jade on top. You could also, because you started with Quem, you have access to a different line where you can go into Sanctifier immediately. So you're going to Sanctifier, banishing this line, you're going to Sanctifier, banish Albaz, then you're going to banish the Quem. And you're just going to hard make Sanctifier. And now you're going to revive your Lubellion by stacking off the Albion. And then, once again, plays Branded Lost. And now you're going to use Cartesia to make your Grand Guignol. And Grand Guignol is going to send your Gimmick Puppet, obviously, and then Branded Lost. Going to trigger to search for a copy of Mercurier. And yeah, Grand Guignol send the Gimmick Puppet. And then set, and then end phase. You're going to use Albion to set Branded Retribution. And once again, keep the Cartesia you can keep the Cartesia in grave, or you can add it back to your hand if you want to special summon the Aluber, if you don't want to use the Cartesia as another interruption in your opponent's turn. But once again, I like keeping the Cartesia engraved as a summon off Sanctifier. In here, this line, you didn't have to search Branded in red with the Albion, so instead you could search Branded Retribution and Tri-Brigade Mercurial. What this essentially does is, this gives your Puppet Lock and your Albion extra protection, and that you already have a Tri-Brigade Mercurial in hand, and a Branded Retribution to negate things that can potentially interact with your Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, such as Bestials or like Crows or Bells. Now, that sounds nice, but admittedly, this isn't as real as that sounds, because first of all, if they had a crow, if they had a hand trap like a Crow or a Bell or a Bestial, they wouldn't have let you gone this far. They would have fired it off already during your combo before you got to this point. So the Mercurial and the Branded Retribution negating stuff like Bestials and like Crows and Bells isn't that huge, but it does insulate you from their 6th card. If they, for example, draw a 6th card as one of those hand traps, then the Branded Retribution and the Tri-Brigade Mercurial will be effective in stopping them. The other problem is, the most common thing that people can use to stop your Albion right now is Call by the Grave, and you don't really have a way to search for a card that negates Call by the Grave. Neither Branded Retribution or Tri-Brigade Mercurial do. So this is technically safer. You have a couple of negates to back up your Albion, but it's not too much more protected than the last combo I showed anyways. And obviously now in the draw phase, you're gonna do the Gimmick Puppet, summon to your opponent's field, and lock them. And this line, basically, instead of having a Mirror Jade, you have a Sanctifier immediately, and you have these two sets instead of having to brand in red in the draw phase. Again, doesn't matter a whole lot, because at the end of the day, if you Gimmick Puppet Lock them, you're gonna win these games 99% of the time already. But this is just the alternate method to do so. Now, if you think that you need to resolve Brand Fusion in order to Puppet Lock your opponent, think again. Nadir Servant right here, this card is insane with the new support. One Nadir Servant almost gets you as far as just a Brand Fusion does. And obviously, this is a 1-card Puppet Lock too, and your opponent only has one Ash Blossom. You know, they gotta choose whether they want to Ash Brand Fusion or Nadir Servant. Either way, they're gonna be in a bad slot. So here, you're gonna activate Nadir Servant, and you're going to send Tri-Brigade Arms Bussy Phallus II. And then you're gonna add a Dogmatica Maximus to hand. Next, you're gonna trigger the Bussy Phallus, and you're gonna send Brigand the Glory Dragon. Next, special the Maximus, banishing the Bussy Phallus. It's done its job. And you're gonna use Maximus to send 2. You're gonna want to send Despia and Lulu a Lilith, and this is the line I like doing. That I see most people would just send the Albion straight away, but because we run Brand of High Spirits in this build, you actually get further by sending Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon, and I'll show you that line. So yeah, your opponent sends 2. If they're not on Branded, they're not gonna gain anywhere near as value as you do. And just that 1 card, now your grave's set up, and now you go into main phase 3. I mean the end phase. Sorry, at the end phase, and you're gonna trigger Despia and Lulu Lilith. Lulu Lilith is gonna summon Guiding Quem. And then Quem on summon is gonna send Blazing Cartesia. Next, you're gonna trigger Brigand the Glory Dragon, and Glory Dragon is gonna take Fallen Valbast, and you're not gonna special summon it, you're gonna add Fallen Valbast to your hand. Okay. And next you're gonna trigger Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon. You're gonna summon Kit to the field. And then Kit effect It's gonna add you your copy of Branded in High Spirits, and you're gonna put back any random card from your hand to your deck. Still in the end phase, trigger Branded in High Spirits. It's gonna discard the Fallen of Albaz you just added off of Brigran, and this time you're gonna send Albion. So you get the Albion anyways, and now you get to pitch the Fallen of Albaz, and instead now you get to add Private Mercurial. So you just get to add a Mercurial on top of this line already as another form of protection. And now because a extra deck monster left the extra deck while Quem is on the field, you can trigger Quem. And Quem is going to summon back Blazing Cartesia. And then you're going to trigger Albion, and Albion is going to set your Branded in red. And now you have your full setup. Passes to your opponent, and it's going to go to the main phase. As soon as your opponent activates anything and you get a response, come on AI. Okay, so you're gonna do that, and now you get the open window after they used their first effect of player priority. You can now trigger Quem, or sorry, not Quem, trigger Cartesia in the main phase. Cartesia is gonna make Grand Guignol using the Spriggan's kit in itself. Grand Guignol is gonna activate, and then you can trigger Guiding Quem as well. You can revive back any three, a Fallen of Albaz, Blazing Cartesia, or Kit. You can even hold off onto it and like wait for it to trigger it off later too. That also works. In this case, you can summon Kit, and then Kit will get you another search as well. And here, Grand Guignol is going to send the Gimmick Puppet. Kit's going to trigger, and you get to add anything you want. So let's add a Branded White since our graveyard's set up already. Put anything back. And now use Branded in red. Target the Fallen of Albaz. And you're going to make Albion the Sanctifier Dragon using the Dogmatica Maximus that you started your play with. It's done its job. And the Fallen of Albaz that you added back. You go into Sanctifier. And now, Sanctifier will summon back the Gimmick Puppet to your opponent's field. And you can even get back the Cartesia. And now they're locked from Special Summon, and they're Gimmick Puppet locked. So, just one Maximus gets you all this. No need to resolve Brand Fusion. You still have the Gimmick Puppet lock with a field full of monsters. Grand Guignol can tag out. Well, it can't tag out because the one target we run this loot will live. So Grand Guignol is just a big body on field. That's a fusion. If you get this far and you get the Sanctifier, you also have the Tri-Brigade Mercurial in hand as an extra negate. And this is every single monster here is a form of follow-up. So they're not going to kill you, and they're definitely going to die next turn, since you only really used one card in hand. Again, one Nadir Servant. You still had 4 other cards in hand. 2 of them which you put back to sculpt and add Mercurial and a follow-up. So, yeah. Have fun dealing with this on the ladder. I will be making another video, another brand, the Despia combo video, involving actual real combos with the new cards in the set, and not just Gimmick Puppet locks. It's gonna have all the new combos with Guiding Quem and all that stuff. So if you're interested in playing this deck still and want to do something more than just Gimmick Puppet locks, then I got you soon.